Hello everybody, Max Scoville here, and welcome to episode 3 of Farts and Crafts, which is the show that we made up a couple weeks ago where I draw a picture of something somehow related to what's going on in video games, and you guys get to watch me do it. That's really the whole idea for the show. That might seem kind of stupid when you kind of actually sit and reflect upon it, but whatever, we have fun doing it, so let's continue doing it. Last week I drew a picture of Batman in a Titan from Titanfall because that's what I felt like drawing, and I had fun drawing it. And some of you guys got huffy because that wasn't a suggestion that I took from the audience. Today I will be taking a suggestion. This comes by way of Nicholas Layne, who says that we're never going to pick this idea, which bullshit we totally are right now. But how about, since Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes and Godzilla are both coming out this year, how about Godzilla crushing Big Boss on a horse? Well now, that's actually a very good idea with one little problem. If we draw Godzilla crushing Big Boss on the horse, we won't be able to tell that he's Big Boss on a horse. So let's just draw Godzilla chasing Big Boss on a horse, because that sounds fun. And because I really want to draw Big Boss, I've been putting up all this Metal Gear coverage. I got to play Ground Zeroes. There's a video on this very channel with my impressions of it. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. One last bit of information before we get into the drawing part of the show. Last week I mentioned that I was going to try and find a way to set up a thing so you can go onto a website and buy prints of the things that I draw, and then you buy me a beer basically, and then you get a thing that's sent to your house and you can put it up on your wall and it looks nice. Well, if you'd like to do that, you can head to society6.com/Max Scoville, and I have prints for sale there, so you can go and get those. All right, enough bullshit, let's do this.
Alright, as you might be able to tell by the tape there, this is actually my third attempt to draw this. I screwed up the first 2 times and had to rip up the tape, so if you're one of those people who has attention to detail, there's all that. I'm drawing Godzilla! I actually haven't seen the trailer for the new Godzilla movie because I hear it's really, really cool. I saw the original teaser that was out a few months back, and I thought it looked neat. And then I saw on Twitter everyone was really, really excited about the new Godzilla trailer, so I decided not to watch it, and I'm really hoping I can get into the theater to see it without seeing any more, so it's a complete surprise. I have a great time going to movies like that. I highly recommend it. Pacific Rim would have been that way for me, except I had to research it for my old show Study Hall. So here's Godzilla. He's a big fatty. He's a big old fat monster man, and I'm kind of having a fun time with these spikes on his back. What does Godzilla have to do with Metal Gear? Well, actually, speaking of Pacific Rim, I mentioned it for a reason. Yoji Shinkawa, the character and mechanical designer for the Metal Gear series, did the Pacific Rim posters in Japan, and they look really, really cool. He drew some of the Jaegers, and they look great. But yeah, speaking of Pacific Rim, I actually watched that on the flight back from Japan. And it was great because the plane was being hit by a whole bunch of turbulence, and I was about 4 drinks in, and it was, I think, like 3 o'clock in the morning my time, according to my brain. I'm not even sure because of jet lag math, because that's a crazy thing. But it was pretty much like a theme park ride. It was like one of those Universal rides where they put you in a wiggly chair and they show you a movie real loud. It was like that, but with Pacific Rim, and I was drunk, and it was really fun. So I don't actually know a whole lot about the Godzilla series of movies. I never really got into them. I think I had a Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah VHS tape that I found at a thrift store that I tried to watch a few times. But the way the Godzilla movies typically are is there's about an hour of no monsters, and then the monsters come out. But that hour of no monsters is some of the weirdest stuff. Some strange things happen in that. A friend of mine once explained to me the entire Godzilla series, which he'd apparently watched in its entirety while very stoned, and had come away with some amazing ability to summarize it all and kind of just explain how insane that series gets. He did the same thing with Planet of the Apes, and I get them mixed up a little bit. But he told me, like, in the 7th or 8th movie, all of the apes have to go back in time and discover democracy, and they have to do, they have to form a senate or whatever. It's a senate of monkeys. I don't even know. That's another one. I speaking of going into movies completely cold, like I plan to do with Godzilla, I saw Rise of the Planet of the Apes that way, and it was amazing. I watched it on like Amazon Prime when everyone else had already seen it, and everyone else was like, whatever. It was, but I went ahead and I saw it without any expectations, and it was a great time. I had no idea that movie would be so much fun. So we got Snake here. He's hiding behind this wall, and him and his horse are both very startled, and so is Godzilla. And here's some little running guys. And that's a bad horse. That's a really shitty horse, and I'm sorry I drew it. I apologize for that horse. It's fucking terrible. Yeah, not always the best artist, but, you know, sometimes, oh, I got a Snapchat. What do you know? If you'd like to find me on Snapchat, my name is Bonglord69. That's a true story. So Godzilla has real stupid stompy feet because I think he looks funnier that way. There's a tank, which is bad also. I'm not proud of my art today. I'm having a rough time with it, so I'm just going to draw everything in flames because that's a great solution. Like I said last week, if you're having a bad time drawing something, just draw rubble. Just draw rubble everywhere. I'm really excited about the Phantom Pain because I think that Snake's character design looks incredible. I'm such a big fan of the robot arm and the ponytail and the shamar, the scarf thing he wears. And also the fact you can ride sideways on a horse and be stealthy with it. That sounds like the most fun. Also, there's goats, if the trailers are to be believed, which I'd be very surprised if you weren't able to fuck with the goats in classic Metal Gear fashion. I mean, not that there's goats in previous games, but, you know, like if you shoot enough crows in the first one, the colonel calls you up and yells at you for shooting crows like a crazy person. What's going to happen if you shoot all the goats or run them over with a car? Yeah, this picture's coming to an end here. Drawing some grass, happy little rocks, trying to cover up the fact that I do not like that horse. It's a bad horse, and Godzilla looks stupid, and Snake has weird thighs. Oh boy. Monday, you guys. Monday's the Garfield day. Here's a car that's upside down and on fire because I'm angry at the world. Boom. Alright, yeah, we're done. Goodbye.
Well, there's the picture. I don't know if I like it. It might have turned out kind of weird. It's kind of an ugly horse. But there it is. Maybe I'll drop that into Photoshop and see what I can make it look like. Magic could happen. You never know. It just requires the right blending modes. But yeah, if you'd like to pick up a print of this, or, you know, of Batman and a robot, or of Duke Nukem watching dogs eat poop, well, you can find those fine, high-quality prints over on society6.com/MaxScoville. And for all of your gaming news needs, you can head to Destructoid.com. And for more videos featuring me saying some strange shit in front of a camera, stay tuned right here. You should subscribe and tell your friends. Show your mom. Ask her how she's doing. I'll see you guys around.